Hey, what is going on? So we have one of our Jiu-Jitsu sisters that watched a previous video. She got to her first class, but then something happened that definitely happened to me and will probably happen to you too. So definitely watch this video so we can talk about it and come up with some solutions. And when you find your passion, it ignites you as a person. You just feel awesome. One of our Jiu-Jitsu sisters watched my last video and she went to her first class, no problem. Second class, she went to class. During the class, it's set up so that you and a partner get together. The instructor shows a move. Then after that, you and your partner get together. You drill the move back and forth. So I typically I'll go 2 times, you go 2 times, or if it's a fast move, 3 and 3. You get your reps in for 10 minutes, and then the instructor shows another technique, and then you repeat until the hour class is done. Well, the first move, she did it with her partner. The second move, right, he crossed the mats so that he didn't have to be partnered with her. So you can imagine how that made her feel, right? Like, I can relate to that. So let me tell you a little story of what happened to me when I first started. So I remember going to class, right? And usually people who want to be paired with each other will stand next to each other. It's kind of like a sneaky way of kind of like being paired with who you want to be with. And I noticed, like, when class would start, if an upper belt would be standing next to me, he would like cross the mat and go stand with the other upper belts because he obviously didn't want to be paired with a white belt. And I'm like, cool. He probably just wants to be paired with somebody else who knows what they're doing. That way he's not spending the whole time playing teacher. Like, let us white belts, play with each other and figure it out. But there came a time when even a person who was newer than me, a guy would cross the mat and not want to be paired with me. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, I'm wearing deodorant, I took a shower, and I'm like, when I first started, I would just wear a bra and a gi because I wasn't used to the heat of the gi and sweating, and it was just too much heat for me. I cannot operate if I'm too hot. So I'm like, maybe it's just, maybe I should cover up more. Maybe he feels uncomfortable. So I'm like, maybe I should dress more like a dude. Did that. And still, white belts who were newer than me would be avoiding training with me. And I'm like, what is going on here? And even like sometimes during rolling, like I would sit out and then like people wouldn't choose me to roll with, and it kind of felt like I was like the fat kid on the playground again, being the last to be chosen for like hide and seek teams. Like that's what it feels like. So I was like, all right, like what is going on here? So I'm like, I need to ask these guys, because how else am I going to know what's going on? So I went up to one of them and I'm like, hey, look, like I didn't make it personal. I wasn't like, why didn't you partner with me? I was like, how come, like, why do you think some guys are don't want to be paired with the ladies? Like, why do you think guys like to be, with other guys? And he was like, well, Crystal, like I just don't I'm afraid of hurting the female, and I just feel a little awkward, and it's just more comfortable for me to train with a guy. And then I was like, all right. And then I remember my coach Jay came in and he was like, tell her the truth, that's a bunch of BS. He's like, you do just want to get in reps and you don't think she can hang. And I was like, all right, so let me break it down for you, all right? So here are the 3 reasons why a dude may not want to train with you and what you can do in order to combat it. Because now, it's not an issue, but it may be an issue for you, and I understand exactly how you feel. We're gonna get to the bottom of it, all right? So first of all, when you're new, it feels like you're not doing it right. Every single move feels like you're not doing it right, you don't feel confident in it, and that is completely normal and completely natural. So if you're with somebody who's more experienced, they basically have to, yes, you're doing it right, give you like constant feedback. And some people don't want to do that all the time. They feel like it's like charity work. So you have to understand that if it's with an upper belt, like sometimes they'll want to train with other upper belts, and you have to understand that it's okay, you know, they have that choice, like let them do that and you just train with the white belts. So what you can do is before class starts, you can choose somebody that you want to train with and stand next to them and be like, hey, do you want to train with me? And they're like, yeah. Like I did it to some of the other white belt guys that started at the same time as me, and they were scared to ask me. So I actually had to be the one initiating the partnership. So as a female, even though it can sometimes feel you're the last person to get picked on the playground, what you have to know is, you know, don't take it personal and don't let that deter you from being, I want to say aggressive, but like, hey, because it's hard. It's like, oh man, nobody wants to choose me. And if you're not feeling like confident from that, you're not going to want to like, you know, step up and be like, hey, come train with me. But you have to do that, and it'll feel so much better once you like take control and you get out on the mat, you know who you want to partner with, and right, like when class starts, be like, hey, you want to partner with me? Like that will help you. All right. Now, along that same vein, I guess we can call this number 2. Yeah, we'll call this number 2. All right. What you need to focus on is, even though you have that feeling of, I don't feel I'm doing it right, you have to ignore that and you have to focus on getting in reps with your partner, because once you like secure this partner, you want to make sure that it's a good experience for this other person. And if they can't get in reps because you're stopping all the time to be like, no, this isn't right, no, this isn't right, then, you know, like that's going to hinder their progress because they can't get in reps with you. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your game and that your focus is, okay, this is the move and I'm going to do the move. And even though your brain is telling you that you're not doing it right, know that it's not that you're not doing it right, you've just never done it before and your body isn't used to it yet. So don't pause just because your brain is giving you that signal. Like, work through it, and that's half the fight. Like, half the fight is the mental of, all right, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna train, and you know, if somebody doesn't want to be my partner, that's okay because somebody else will, and one day, like, like you have to get through that, all right? And I know you will be able to get through that. And then, so the third reason, all right, now imagine this. Imagine being a guy and throughout your whole life, you've been told that it's not okay to hit a woman, that like, maybe not directly, but indirectly, like women are fragile, women are, you know, like little petite flowers and they break easily. And imagine being told that all of your life and then walking into a jiu-jitsu class and being paired with a female that like you have to practice fight moves on. I mean, I remember when I was training for my first jiu-jitsu fight, my coach hadn't trained a female before and he felt so uncomfortable punching me in the face, but like, how else are you gonna train somebody for an MMA fight if you don't punch them in the face? But all his life he was told, don't punch women in the face, but like, you know what I mean? So you have to understand that like guys have to fight that. Like for some guys it's harder than other guys. Some guys are just deathly afraid of hurting you, even though like they don't understand yet like your durability. You know what I mean? Like, especially, yeah, like once you build that up too, because in the beginning you may not be that durable, or maybe you are. Like everybody starts at a different place. Like some people are more durable, other people need to build it. But yeah. So, and another thing too is, so what's going to happen is now if this happens to you, you're obviously not going to feel completely comfortable walking in there again. You know, that's going to be hard. That's going to be difficult for you, but it's okay. One other thing you can do besides going up to a partner and, you know, choosing them first and like picking who you want to be with is go to your coach and be like, hey, look, you know, I'm not really confident in doing class, and you know, like I've been thinking about quitting, but I don't want to quit, but I'm feeling a high level of anxiety, you know, when we're drilling these moves. Do you think maybe like you could come around and check in on me like during class just to, you know, make sure I'm doing it right? And then that way you know, you'll feel more comfortable because your coach will be aware of it, and your coach may even at the beginning of class be like, hey, so-and-so, pair with so-and-so. And he'll pair you with somebody that he knows or she knows that is good with people who have high anxiety, has like a more caring nature, and is willing to contribute to help a female beginner white belt like get into this. Because out of all the people in that gym who need jiu-jitsu the most, a female white belt is who needs the most attention, because who else is going to use jiu-jitsu for self-defense? You know what I mean? Like, come on. And then another thing that might do too is once other people see that the, you know, teacher or the coach is coming over and seeing, you know, how you're doing and maybe giving you some tips, they're going to want to pair with you more if the coach is being like, oh yeah, very good. Yeah, now do this, now do this, now do that. Like other people are like, oh, like she's getting attention. I know if I pair with her, then the coach is going to give me some additional feedback. And additional feedback is always good. And you have to make sure that you can take the feedback. Know that anytime an upper belt, like especially a coach or a black belt, tells you something that like, hey, move your elbow here, move your shoulder there, like put your hand on top of the shoulder, don't take that as a negative. They took time to show you something that is game-changing, and that is them taking an interest in you and caring about your jiu-jitsu. That's not a negative. So if your coach then comes around and is like, oh yeah, you know, like put your leg up here, know that that's not, like that's good. That is a good thing. All right, so in summary, sometimes it is going to be difficult to, I mean, and this happened to me for probably like my first year, that like some people just would not want to pair with me. And in fact, it still happens today. Like some of like the really bigger guys, they're afraid of pairing with me, especially if it like involves takedowns or landing on top of me, because they're afraid. They're like, oh, look at this like smaller female, but they don't understand like the durability that comes with doing jiu-jitsu. Like you don't feel it when they land on you, because you build certain muscles that you can take the pressure. You know what I mean? It just doesn't look like you can take the pressure. You can take the pressure. Yeah, so that's just something that you're gonna have to know walking into it, and that you're going to have to experience, but it's okay, it's just part of it. And I know it may feel like really difficult, but this is all part of the training process. Like you are gonna come out this challenge that's presented to you. Once you overcome this, you are going to be so much stronger and so much more confident. Like this is a test. This is your test. You are going to be confident after you overcome this. You know what I'm saying? And then it's pretty soon you're gonna have years of experience, and then the white belts are going to want to pair with you for other reasons if they have an ego. They're gonna be like, oh, you're free to roll. Wait a minute, I have to send this text. I'll get you next time. But all right, so thank you so much for watching. And if people don't want to pair with you, like, I know it's difficult, but do not take it personally. Get in there, find a partner, be aggressive, be proactive about finding a partner, choose them, don't wait to be chosen, focus on the move, focus on getting as much reps as you can. Don't just do it twice and just sit around and look around. No, like be the rep driver, do rep. Let them know that you're here to learn, be light about it, like, have fun, be focused. And yeah, pretty soon they'll know that like your game and it's all good, All right, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any other instances like this, like I'm pretty sure I've experienced a lot of what you're going through, and I really enjoy being able to share things like this with you to let you know like it's okay, like here are some things that you can do in order to get through it. But all right, so thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
I think the girls with their nails done now.